Hi, this is Miss Litton, and I'm recording this for my APBio students, and this will be part of an EdPuzzle assignment. This is Chapter 34, Digestive Systems and Nutrition. This is not one of the mandated topics that we, or systems that we need to discuss for the AP Biology exam, but it can be supportive, and it has several examples of adaptations and structure meets function. So wanting to start off in your notes, when it talks about the overview of the digestive tracts, couple of words to go over. Ingestion is some process by which you get the food in the organism. Digestion is breaking it down from polymers to monomers so that you can do absorption into, if you're a multicellular organism, into your other cells. And then egestion, if you have, in this case, an indoor and an outdoor like we do, it's getting rid of things that cannot be digested or absorbed. So there are different strategies on digestion: extracellular and intracellular digestion. Intra is within. So for instance, a cell that does phagocytosis and engulfs in a food vacuole, and this combines with a lysosome and digestion and absorption outside of that endosome, then the cell can use those nutrients. Extracellular digestion is where the digestion takes place in some tube outside of the cell, and then the nutrients are absorbed into the cell. Of the two, extracellular digestion would be considered more advanced than intracellular digestion, more efficient use of time and materials, because if you have a tube that you can throw enzymes, secrete enzymes into that tube, do your digestion, and then your absorption instead of each individual cell. Incomplete versus complete digestive tract. Here we're looking at the planaria again, and in this case you are, and I'm going to pause just for a minute on your notes, go back, overview of digestive tracts. We have 1, ingests food. 2, breaks down food into small molecules that can cross plasma membrane. 3, absorbs these nutrient molecules. 4, eliminates undigestible remains. We talked about that. Not all organisms have a tract or a gut. Like a sponge uses its intracellular digestion within their cells. Okay, now we're at incomplete versus complete digestive tract. If it's incomplete, there is one opening. For the planaria, you can see their pharynx extends outside of their mouth right here, and they're going to bring nutrients into their gastrovascular cavity. Initially, there will be extracellular digestion, and then it's completed intracellular within the cell. No specialization, it just absorbs. So here's a little summary on that. Single opening, some extracellular, but completed intracellular, no specialization. All right, versus a complete digestive tract, which means you have an indoor and you have an outdoor, a way to go in and a way to go out. And then different regions are specialized. Primarily, you would just have extracellular digestion and then absorption in your intestines. We can go over some of the structures here of the earthworm. So here, let's see if I have things. Yes, sorry about that. Your mouth is your indoor. Your pharynx is sucking the nutrients in, and your crop would be similar to our stomach. It's for storage. The gizzard grinds the food. There could be stones in there, mechanically breaking that food down into smaller sized chunks that enzymes could then work on. Your intestines for digestions chemically and absorption, and then anus, that would be your outdoor. So on your notes for that one, complete, tube with mouth and anus, alimentary canal. Different regions are specialized. Different regions are specialized. Extracellular digestion and absorption in the intestines. Now, continuous versus discontinuous feeders, that is exactly what it sounds. Continuous eaters, they're expending energy constantly, in this case, filter feeding for food. Discontinuous, you need a place to store, eat a larger meal and then store it. This would be considered more adaptive for organisms that want to do other things besides eat. Okay, and here is a review of that. Allows time for other activities. All right, that's the breakdown there. And talking about the different types of, sorry, let me finish your notes on there. So continuous, no storage. Aquatic filter feeders usually extra and intracellular digestion for discontinuous, stomach and storage, stomach for storage, and is an adaptation that allows for other life activities besides feeding. All right, now, adaptations to diet. So herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores, I know most of you are absolutely familiar with this. So carnivores are meat eaters, omnivores plant and animal matter, and then herbivore just plant material. You can tell a lot about an organism by its dentition and the length of its intestines. For your dentition, structure fits function. Structure fits function. The broad, flat molars in the back, this is for grinding plant material. Sharp teeth in the front are for cutting and tearing meat. And there are two types of digestion, just to review. Mechanical digestion is when you're physically breaking food down into smaller chunks. And then chemical digestion is when you're using enzymes to change the polymers into monomers that can be absorbed. So when you look at an animal and you look at its teeth, you can tell a lot about what it's going to eat. So for instance, this is a horse. So you can see it has the incisors here for cutting the grass or vegetation that it's eating, then these broad, flat molars for grinding. And if you remember, plants, you have those cell walls out of cellulose, and they don't have enzymes to digest the cellulose, so they have to break the cell walls and invest a lot of time grinding up that plant material. Whereas if you look here at lions and dolphins, you can see those sharp teeth for eating meat. And then here you can see for us, we're omnivores, so we have the sharp teeth in the front and the broad flat molars. So that was the first part on structure meets function with your teeth. And then here you can see a ruminant. With their plant material, it takes a long time to digest it, and they have multiple stomachs. And Chewing the Cud talks about when they take their plant material and they'll actually regurgitate it back in their mouth and chew on it a little bit and send it back through. And that's at the bottom of your notes, ruminants, talking about multiple stomachs of this section. Here, if you look and if you would cut open a lion and you looked at its digestive tract, it's relatively short compared to a longer digestive tract for this zebra, which the lion has in its mouth. And it's because, again, it's more difficult to digest that plant material. So digestive tracts are longer for plant-eating animals, hard to digest cellulose, shorter for meat eaters. And then plant, to assist in the breakdown of that plant material, bacteria can be housed in many vertebrates as well as termites. They house large populations of symbiotic bacteria and protists who can help enzymatically break down that cellulose. All right, and then this brings us to the human digestive system. And for our human digestive system, we do extracellular digestion. We have a couple of areas that we do the bulk of our mechanical digestion. in our mouth for starters, chewing with our teeth, but then we use muscles. Muscles in our stomach help churn the food, grind it up, and break it down. We have accessory glands, and you have salivary glands in your mouth. You have your liver and your pancreas secreting in to your top of your small intestines at your duodenum or duodenum. But along the way in your stomach, you also have glands that are secreting as well. So you have both mechanical and chemical digestion and a whole lot of specialization along the way. As far as what you need to know for APBio, you're not going to have to remember all of the enzymes. You just might want to have a couple of examples in your back pocket. And like I said at the beginning of the notes, you're going to want to think about things like in the small intestines where you have the villi and those folds on folds that increases surface area, which allows for better absorption. That could be an adaptation you could point out in support of some other essay. And also thinking about passive and active transport. This is another place where you could apply that. And this part of the human one, I will cover that and the enzymes in class. So hope that was helpful to you. Have a piece of toast.